Back on Inside Tennessee with two candidates for the public defender's office. They're both Republicans. We welcome them back to the broadcast. And I wanted to talk about your colleagues with the Bar Association gave a rating for some of the candidates in the races we're seeing in the primary. And Ms. Lee, you scored the lowest of those from your colleagues rating for who would be good in this position. What's your reaction to that, and do you think that that really matters, the thoughts of some 500 colleagues?
I really don't think too much about that survey because mostly everyone I've talked to didn't even get it. I didn't get it. So I didn't even know that there was a survey that went out until after the fact. So I'm not really concerned about that survey. I just think that I don't know why all the members of the bar didn't get it. So.
And Eric, playing devil's advocate, there might be some people who say, you know what, Mark Stevens started that office in 1990 or so. He only just left, and we've got Eric Lutton in there who is a disciple. Maybe we do need some fresh blood. We do need some fresh perspective. I'd be interested in your reaction to that.
Well, I would say that I am fresh blood and fresh perspective. I mean, to say that I am a disciple of Mark Stevens is not in any way saying that I am Mark Stevens. We definitely disagreed about a lot of things, and so, you know, one thing about when you're the deputy, you go into the office and you make your case for something, and if the boss says no, you go out and you advocate what he says the policy and the vision is, and we had several instances like that. You know, I could speak to one of those. You know, Mark was not a fan of recovery courts. I pushed and pushed to allow
the drug court
and veterans court. Yeah, I pushed and pushed for us to be involved in that program, and ultimately he relented and said, okay, but it's your baby. And so we established a presence in in drug court and veterans court for the first time, in part because it was something that I thought was really important in a way that we could give back to the community.
I want to follow up on that. I'm glad you raised that because I think the governor has expressed some interest maybe expanding drug courts in the state of Tennessee. I'd like to know from both of you, I think I already have an idea from you, do you think they work? Has this one worked here?
I do think this one has worked. I think that we've got a very good and professional recovery court staff. I think there's a trend towards calling it recovery court, or at least that's what Judge Cerny prefers. But and the Veterans Court is also, we've seen some spectacular results. And I'm not going to go into individual stories,
sure,
just because those are all confidential.
Right.
But boy, there's some moving stories in there.
Ms. Lee?
Your perspective on that?
I agree with that. The people that finish that tend to be very successful. So I do agree with both of those. The Veterans Court and Drug Court is doing a great job.
Another topic that we've heard in the community is the idea of having people who are in jail come and see a judge in person rather than a video conference, if you will, from the jail, which I think if you talk to some people in law enforcement might save the county some significant tax dollars just in transporting those people. Is that an idea, Ms. Lee, that you would favor, or do you think that wouldn't be something that you would support?
Is the question, are you talking about for the initial arraignment?
Video arraignment.
Video arraignment. I'm kind of against that. I'm kind of against that.
And why do you say that?
I think that people that are in the justice system deserve to be in person and not by video. I think it's very impersonal, and it starts it right out the gate of, you know, you're just on a video, we don't have time for you.
Even if the sheriff says, hey, listen, that saves a lot of taxpayer money in terms of transport.
I'm still against it. I think that it should be more personal.
Eric?
Yeah, I mean, obviously we need to be good stewards of the taxpayer dollars, but we also have to recognize that people have certain rights. And I'm not so certain. There are a lot of individuals that do get transported back and forth that are charged with public intoxication or criminal trespass, very low level offenses, that when they are going to court for the first time, that they are getting released by the judge after, a lot of times after a plea where they represent themselves. And so when we have the jail overcrowding that we do, I wonder if we wouldn't be shooting ourselves in the foot by having fewer individuals being able to get out of custody promptly because they're remaining out at the jail and not getting to appear before a judge that is permitted to take a plea.
You just also sort of read my mind in terms of another question I was going to ask both of you, and that deals with jail crowding. I think the numbers I checked one day last week were 1,300 or 1,322 out at Maloneyville or downtown, the two major places. So, in your opinion, the jail population, how is that affecting the work you all are trying to do in representing defendants? Are we okay? Are there serious problems?
So the jail overcrowding certainly causes an issue. I know when I've got lawyers on my staff that go out there, I mean, sometimes they're having to wait a significant amount of time because and I think Sheriff Spangler would agree with this, that he's understaffed as well. And when you have that many individuals that are in the jail that sometimes don't necessarily get all of their out time, and you've got a shortage of staff to deal with that many people, pulling those individuals to come and meet with their lawyer takes time. And when you're dealing with the oppressive caseloads that we are dealing with, time is precious. You know, if you have to sit out there and wait for an hour to see a client, that is a real loss. That is an extra hour you're going to have to spend on Saturday or Sunday. And our lawyers do spend Saturdays and Sundays in the office.
Ms. Lee?
I totally agree with that. That happens a lot of times. I'm out there and have to wait because of delay, and time is precious.
This is a big question, but what do you both think is the biggest misconception the general public has about the people you represent day in, day out, Ms. Lee?
I think that the misconception is that all people are bad, and there's a lot of mental health issues that we're dealing with, a lot of drug addiction, and I would like to educate the public that, you know, there are some serious issues. Not everybody's bad, not everybody wants to be a criminal. If we can address those issues, I think that, you know, the community would be better served. But those are serious issues, the drug addiction that's, you know, now rampant, and the mental health issues that there's no help. People that can't manage themselves need somebody to supervise them, and it becomes a revolving door in the jail and the criminal justice system.
Yeah, I would largely agree with that. I think that a lot of individuals don't realize that they are not bad people. That it was shocking to me when I started doing this work, and one of the things that led me towards this path, because I originally wanted to be a prosecutor out of law school. One of the things that led me down this path is I was completely surprised by the number of individuals that are incarcerated that did drugs for the first time with their parents. And I mean, sometimes 14, 15 years old getting introduced to hard drugs like cocaine and methamphetamine. And so when we look at this individual in their 20s now and wonder how they got there, and they came from no love, abuse, no food in the home, addiction all over the house, it's no wonder they got where they are. And so we have to help those individuals out. They're not bad people, but they sometimes have put themselves in some bad situations.
And we get the sense that you both have seen some miraculous turnarounds from people you have dealt with. Is that fair to say as well?
Absolutely, absolutely. I have many success stories.
Well, we need to be better at reporting those, and we appreciate the perspective from both of you. We wish you the best of luck during the primary, and thank you for making time for us this morning.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
We're going to come back with some thoughts on Governor Lee's State of the State with John North right after this.